Well, top of the morning to you. You've reached Tasmania Reactions channel. Thought we'd go ahead and just react to P Diddy. Huh? Looks like he's getting off pretty easy. Don't know if that's alright. Trumper had some good stuff happen today. Go through that a little bit. I got some clips over here I might want to show you. 4th of July coming up. And yeah, let's just get into this P Diddy thing. Really don't want to. I mean, a lot of people are talking about it, so everybody who's way more popular than I am. Again, like, subscribe, leave a message, comment, but a lot of people are talking about out there if he, if he did it, or that he did do it. I was watching some Megyn Kelly. She's pretty upset about the situation. Officer Tatum, like that dude. He also is talking about it, and he's coming off of more of a. He kind of said more how guys see it, and she's coming off kind of more the way females see it. He respects Megyn Kelly a lot, and he made sure that he's let that known before, but he was just trying to say that he comes off of it from a different side. And I know he said women act a certain way. I mean, I don't think that's not wrong, and I don't think where she's coming from is wrong. You look at some of the videos. I mean, just that video alone, you would think that after P Diddy beat her up, that she could get kidnapping or something. I mean, drug her back in, and it looked pretty bad. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be extremely interesting how quickly he's welcomed back into the graces. But for something's telling me he's going to have no problem getting back in there. He's going to probably have enough sympathy for the time that he's going to spend anyways. But Officer Tatum, that's the reason why his channel's Officer Tatum. He's obviously a police officer, and Megyn Kelly's the lawyer. So they're both. There's a saying that I tell people: lawyers know the law, cops know how to write tickets. I mean, take for it what it is. It doesn't mean that cops are stupid. It's just they both come from a law background, but one's law enforcement and one defends or fights for the law, or defends it, tries to defend it, and some try to get off of it. So they're still coming from different areas. It could be that Megyn is a little more compassionate, as he said as well, but I could see the emotion. Mainly, I think it was more of their experience. I could see her understanding that she's seen cases where she thought she had all the evidence, but for some reason, just one juror wouldn't pull the trigger. Tatum, on the other hand, he's coming from, well, you have a law, like, just with that tape alone, there's like a year statute of limitations, and they weren't able to get it, and there's some question that maybe he kept the film or bought the film, and it wouldn't have been able to be used in court. And then also, the Cassie girl did not report it at all either, which is another issue, and that's what I'm going to get into. So I just wanted to start off with that scenario, or that situation between them two. And it wasn't Megyn coming back at him yet or whatever. And like I said, it was done respectful. But he's right. I mean, she was right too. They were both right. But I mean, I just see where he was coming from, to the point of, the law's the law, and even though it might be a scumbag and everything, and that was kind of what he said. And you feel that the person's a scumbag, still doesn't mean that they didn't prove anything. I mean, as far as I know, I would talk about the case if I really gave a shit, but I really don't. But I just know that there was hardly any defense. So you look at it, and there's no defense, so they weren't able to prove what they were able to prove. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? I mean, I guess only if you got a lot of money, because I don't know about that. Maybe I'll get back into that if I got time in this video. But what I wanted to get up to is the situation of Cassie. There's, and it means nothing against her. I'm not really even talking about her per se. I'm talking about the situation she was in, because it happens a lot. You got a lot of people out there who, be in these situations, and it sounds like they were in horrible situations. But then you have things that maybe you went along with it. I looked up her family background and everything. It looks like her father and mother were in her life and everything. So, with themselves and make everything great. But, like an abused woman, who gets beat up all the time and keeps going back, and people say, oh, it's a woman's fault, shouldn't be going back. I remember I was younger, my sister got beat up by her boyfriend, and cousins went over and beat the shit out of him, and they told her, if you go back to him, we're never going to do that again. Well, what do you know, she went back to him, she got the shit beat out of her again, and, they didn't go do anything. It kind of goes off the same thing, the stories of Native Americans, where they'll be the ones that, hey, don't touch the fire. Don't touch the fire. After the second time, don't say anything. Kid touches the fire, it burns. Told you not to touch the fire. Right? But, just moms and dads, and how important it is for both boys and girls to be brought up by both parents, man. You just have to watch them. They get, I noticed she got sucked into modeling really early. You hear a lot of stories about that. But I mean, just in general, like I said, I'm really not going off of her story, but just in general, you got to be there for the kids. Understand money's important and stuff, but man, you got to be there. I know I made mistakes parenting, and have some pretty good kids, but it's just a shame to see how somebody can, be manipulated that bad. And then there's the other side of it. If a person like that, maybe they do want it, and all they want to do is get money now. However, both scenarios, like I said, I'm not judging. I'm just saying flat out, both sides of those coins are not good. And maybe there's some parents could do about it, maybe not. But the one thing you can do is be there. So, yeah, it's just a interesting situation. Of course, last I heard, a judge denied him bail, and he'll be in jail. Some are saying, I guess, he could do 10 years for each count that he got caught on, which is 2, which would be 20. But due to the fact that he's never been, it's his first offense or anything, something like that, maybe he'll only do 5, which I think he's done 2 already. So that'd be a total of 3 more that he's got to do. But again, I don't want to get into the story, but initially, actually before all this happened, I had already seen there's so many things that happen around P Diddy. Guys' cars, guys getting shot, people going missing, people dying from pneumonia, things like that. And of course, because he's a celebrity, he doesn't get charged or anything. So I mean, it's kind of my point of, that's why sometimes you do just have to charge somebody. So when they do something worse, it's not their first offense, and maybe the first offense would have stopped them. But of course, when you got money, you get away with things, or somebody else says they did it, stuff like that. So if you want, you can go look into that. But I guess in 3 years, well, I hope they goes out a little further. I don't know. This judge denied bail, so we'll see. But it sounds like within 3 years, probably sooner, he'll be LeBron James and all them, Kevin Hart, and all be able to have the party, like, because they haven't been able to party because nobody throws a party like a P Diddy party. So, I'm not a day trader or anything, but I would say in about 2 years from now, I'd definitely invest highly in baby oil. Just have a hunch that the stock's going to go up in a couple of years. But no, that's just my one tip for the day. But you know, it's just going to be interesting how that's going to pan out, because then you have, you know, P Diddy, but you know he's not the only celebrity out there that does it. I mean, that's going to bring me back to Donald Trump. You know, I was talking to somebody today about this, whatever, and they were kind of like, well, you know, that, you know, girls get around, and people that don't have the money get around people that got money. They do blah blah blah, said and the other, and I was like, whoa 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 whoa. So you agree with Trump? Because happened to be the individual that had some questions about Trump the last few weeks, and he's like, what? He's like, I don't go around grabbing the kitty cat. And I was like, yeah, you never said that. Oh, yeah, you did. Like, no, he didn't. He did. He said exactly what you said, yet you didn't say the kitty cat. He's like, I didn't say anything of the sort. We didn't say anything like. I said sometimes you go to parties with people that don't make a lot of money with people that make lots of money, and people do what they got to do. It's exactly what he said. He's like, no. I was like, wait for lunch, buddy. Wait for lunch. He's actually listening. He's actually listening to me. So I'm like, wait for lunch, bud. Wait for lunch. Or I was like, you look it up yourself if you want. So he didn't look it up. So first video is going to be that one, actually. So this is actually what the real recording. First he's talking about Nancy Pelosi and whatever. It's going to take a while, but go and take. It's talking about moving on. It's just he initially talked about how you could read it if you want. He initially was talking about going after Nancy Pelosi, and he went after her like a bitch, and he, you know, everybody says that he. You know, he was talking about locker room talk or whatever, and then it was like, no, he was saying he just goes and grabs women in the whatever. No, he didn't. Here we go.
Whoa, yes. Whoa. There, and she was married, and all of a sudden I see her. She's now got. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where there's some nice furniture. I took out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
She's your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, the dollar score.
Whoa!
Oh, my man. Wait, you gotta look at me when you get after like
this up. That is very.
You give me the thumbs up.
You are.
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy.
Yeah, let me. It's very funny. You and I will walk in.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the post. No, it's
yeah, that's it, with the gold. I gotta use some Tic Tacs.
All right. So, I mean, I've been with my boys many times, and you know, throughout my life. But I mean, he's in there telling stories about Nancy Pelosi before she got her new mountains up here, and how she was a different person, and he was trying to hit on her, and he went like a bitch, like he didn't do a really good job at it. How many times have you been with people talking and you're like, yeah, start going through? I mean, he went even as far as to say, you know, he messed up. It was horrible at it. It was horrible. He had a horrible game. But he was a celebrity at this point here. He wasn't running. I think that's when he was doing Apprentice. I think he's coming on here to be like a soap star for the day, or he's going to be on some day soap that's on. And then they see some hot looking lady there. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how many times that happens a day with me. It happened today, a matter of fact. But I mean, come on. I mean, that's exactly why it was called locker room talk. They were just I didn't even know if he knew he had a mic on him, or a hot mic at the time. They're just talking, shooting the crap. And then he sees it, you know, then he sees the lady that's coming up, and she's an attractive lady. And he's like, oh, let me get some Tic Tacs. Come on, dude. I mean, it's Trump. I mean, I'm sure maybe he, you know, whatever. When you're rich, well, you're going to hear. I mean, but come on, you know, whether you're, you know, like I said, not only is he rich, at the time he's a celebrity. Here we go.
Just in case this thing.
He's going to put some freaking looking for some Tic Tacs.
Yeah, let me. It's very funny. You and I will walk in.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the post. No, it's
yeah, that's it, with the gold. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her.
Such
I'm
stupid.
automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just I don't even wait.
Dude, I would have loved to hang with this guy. I mean, I don't know how much of it. I mean, it wasn't locker room talk, but just like the video I showed yesterday with that beautiful African reporter that he was with. He said the one of his staff said like don't say anything, but she's absolutely beautiful, and he said I'm not supposed. I was told not to say this, but I have to say you're beautiful. Hey, that's just how he is, and he's gonna talk different to the person. But when you're with the boys, I mean, obviously maybe he changed his way, but dude's funny. It's just like I gotta get some TikToks, and when I get around attractive women, I just start wanting to kiss them and all that. And here's where the infamous kitty cat is spoken. Listen.
When you're a star, they let you do it. Just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just I don't even wait. Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. Do anything.
Dude.
Just I don't even wait. Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
And when you're a star, they let you do anything. And he's like, anything? Yeah, you could grab them by the kitty cat. He never said, I go up and grab them. Nothing to the thing that he does it. What he was saying was, when you're a star, they let you do these things. Hence, these P Diddy parties or whatever. And by all means, it's not nothing that showed anything close to what we heard P Diddy. But I'm talking about celebrities, and we all know this. I have tons of friends told me stories. Oh, we were at this concert. Some guy came up and said, hey, you guys want some backstage passes, whatever. Supposedly, which I don't believe, every single story. Well, we end up going backstage, and then we go to their hotel, and then we just left because it was weird. 100% of those stories don't end that way. Sorry. I'm just saying, 100% of those stories do not end that way. But I'm just saying, I've even heard it. So, and this is exactly one more time.
Just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just I don't even wait. Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
So stupid, dude. Oh my God.
Oh, that's good.
Shoot, you want to talk about being good at high school football? A good high school football player. Shoot, you get pretty popular there too. Sometimes.
It's a great honor to announce that I've just made a trade deal.
All right. So anyway, I'm just saying, that just brings it to that point. But literally, that's all he said on that. But celebrities around, you get these females. I mean, I guess there's males out there too and stuff out there. But you get a lot of these individuals that. Geez, if they don't have that support, you lose them out there, and then they're out there at a P Diddy party or hanging out with Donald Trump, letting all his friends who are famous back then do whatever they want. Just saying, but interesting. So anyway, and some positives from Trump. There's a trade deal that happened today. Bet you guys didn't hear about that. You got to find certain areas. So this is Louder with Crowder, another one I listen to. The dude, spot on. And he's going to read the quick tweet. Let's see what it says.
It is my great honor to announce that I have just made a trade deal with the Socialist Republic of Vietnam after speaking with To Lam. To Lam. The highly respected, very respected To Lam.
Sure,
General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam. Not a fan, but I like To Lam. It will be a great deal of cooperation between our two countries. The terms are that Vietnam will pay the United States a 20% tariff on any and all goods sent into our territory and a 40% tariff on any transshipping. In return, Vietnam will do something they have never done before. It's never been done. Give the United... If you scroll, I can't read.
Dude, I like to hang with this guy.
Give the
too.
United States of America total access to their markets for trade. In other words, they will open their markets to the United States.
Who's he quoting? Hold on, who's he quoting there?
Me.
Quoting himself?
Meaning that we will be able to sell our product into Vietnam at 0 tariff. It is my opinion that the SUV, or as it is sometimes referred to, large engine vehicle.
This is a tweet. This is
Which
really a
does
tweet.
so well in the United States will be a wonderful addition to the various product lines within Vietnam. They need them. They have snakes.
And alligators.
They want to be further away, higher ground clearance. Dealing with the General Secretary, Toe Lam, which I did personally, was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Always. This also sends a message. Hey, you guys want to make a deal? We're going to have some...
Okay. So anyway, so a lot of people haven't heard that, so I'm going to do that. You know, a lot of people are talking about that P Diddy do it, that P Diddy not. This is kind of different with this, at least where I'm coming from the Tasmania Reactions channel, to be not just go white or black, you know, right or wrong, you know, purple, pink. I don't know what that meant, but to the point of get maybe something you guys didn't hear, something you guys didn't see, but then like for me to go off of the actual sadness of that story, and I know other people have though too, but mainly a lot of people are just out there talking about P Diddy's horrible, horrible situations that need to be resolved throughout the, you know, throughout our society, you know. Something like this, you know, probably didn't hear about it. P Diddy's way more important than we just got a trade deal with Vietnam, which may not sound huge to some people, but there's a couple of things. One, like you said there, hey, we get a deal, meaning that people are like, hey, America is looking to make deals. Let's be first in there so we can get the better deals, because they're going to get worse and worse as they go. Secondly, and I've seen this with a lot of other people, some of the goofy nations that we were tariffing, they're like, oh, I don't know, whatever it's called, I don't know. Let's see what, there's a coin here, I have a coin here, right? Some nation called Coin that doesn't really trade with anybody, but places near them. Why are we tearing off them? Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Well, the reason why he's doing that is because nations like China were actually going out and finding places that didn't have agreements with the United States and bypassing any tariffs that they had, so then they could just sell from that little area. I'm sure they gave them some money, but then was able to give it to America without any tariffs or any regulations. So when they do that and we don't have an agreement with them, we're not going to trade with them anyway, but that means that we can't trade with them without a deal. So China or whoever else, every time I say China, I say that now. China can't find some nation that that doesn't have any tariff deal with us, go through them, act as a middleman, and then they save tons of money and screw us, because that's what they do out there. But I haven't heard anybody talk about that too much either. So that was one. Two, I want to go back to at least this is Officer Tatum again. But yesterday, I think it was the Louder Crowder, they were showing. Wait, maybe I do have it. Yeah, this one.
At home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims are keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here, to be honest.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me, it didn't work out that way.
It's true.
He said Biden wanted him in here.
That is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here, to be honest.
Biden wanted me in prison.
Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me, it didn't work out that way.
It's true.
He wanted me in here,
Oh, I don't know. That son of a bitch.
He wanted me, it didn't work out that way.
It's true.
He wanted me in here, that son of a bitch.
All right, that son of a bitch.
Sometimes you guys lose. What would you think of some?
Okay, so that's funny, anyways. But so this is just proof from Officer
The
Tatum.
United States that we have in Donald Trump,
Okay,
because he's
so clarify if you guys don't know this. I think it is my last video, but you guys could just be watching it now. So there is a they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. It's going to be in Florida, and it's going to be for bad criminals, or it's supposed to be for bad criminals. That's what they're saying, but you know, government can do whatever they want. But bad criminals, where they'll be housed there. It's I think they said a capacity of 5,000, but they're planning to have 3,000. It's air conditioned, so it's not like a horrible place. It's just it's surrounded by it's by alligator infested lands or something. So they're calling it, you know, Trumper's always about the look of things, always. And I didn't want to name it that way. They wanted to name it that way. I thought it was an okay. I thought it was an okay name. They thought it was a great name. I was like, oh, well, we'll go with it. Whatever. So anyway, they're going through. So they're just showing that it's an air conditioning place or an air conditioned building, but whatever, they'll be able to deport people or pick them up, bring them to this facility, hold them there, and I believe DeSantis is trying to add judges through the National Guard so that they can see these individuals, so they can have their due process, and it's literally connected. I mean, you might have to jump over some alligators or whatnot, but it's literally connected to an not an airport, but an airstrip. So they'll literally walk out from there, or they'll hang out there until they're seen. And when they're seen, they'll go. And if they're deported, you walk right out there and they'll fly you home. Genius. I didn't say it. They said it's genius. I thought it was great. So anyway, so that's what this is about. But this is Officer Tatum showing what the place looks like. And that, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get into that either. But same person, same guy, had to talk about the pictures of the caged kids, and he's like, I don't care, Donald Trump caged the kids. And I had to show him in like 2 minutes. It took me to show five articles, 5 different sources that say in 2016 that report was written, or the news report was written, and the guy who did a story in 2014 said, you know, those are my pictures when Obama was in charge and was caging kids. So I had to bring this up, and I was telling them, yeah, so look it up. If you don't, look it up. The picture, most of all those pictures they were showing with the kids in the astronaut blankets or fire blankets, whatever you want to call them, caged and pretty much sleeping right on top of each other. That was Obama in 2014. Look it up. Doesn't take but 2 seconds to look it up. So these facilities look amazing.
He's where the cameras are.
Look nice to me, man. Probably smell good in there too. Maybe not.
Let's see. There you go.
To the United States that we have in Donald Trump, because he sees where the cameras are.
Look nice to me, man. Probably smell good in there too. Maybe not when they piling people in there, but right now it smells good. The floor is clean, everything is good. So let's talk about a little.
So you have people on The View and all these people, all these leftists, they're calling this the camps that happened in Germany for the Jews. Now all of a sudden they care about the Jews. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. They care about the Jews. They don't care about the Jews. I don't know. But so but they're saying the concentration camps is what they're saying. Well, no, they're getting ready to deport, and they look nice. And come on. You know the news is going to be watching them pretty hard. So at least, well, Trump's in, they'll probably be looking pretty nice. Oh, that's P Diddy. Yeah, I don't think I got anything else to. Oh wait, I did have one more. I don't know where it went though. Oh darn, maybe I don't have it. Um, I was gonna end it with 4th of July. Um, oh, maybe it's a little 4th of July thing for you guys. But before I do that, yeah, guys, like, subscribe, throw some comments in there. Like I said, let me know if I'm doing good, not doing well. You want to chat, whatever. But I'm trying to find different ways of coming at people. Maybe help somebody out. Maybe it's helping me out, get it out. So maybe I'll just sit here and be selfish like I normally am. So, but anyway, you got 4th of July coming up, and this was a lot of crowders didn't make this. They pulled it up. But if you guys haven't seen this, it's pretty hilarious. But I added a little bit to it, but still credit to, I guess AI made this, but somebody made it on there, and at the end of it, they say who it is. You guys go look them up if you want. But I just enjoy when I'm listening and watching them. There's a group of guys, and I have other guys that I watch too, but they haven't pulled anything up yet. So I pulled Officer Tatum, I pulled Darius, I pulled up obviously Steven Crowder, Laura Crowder. But I watch Normal World, Megyn Kelly. Oh yeah, Ben Shapiro. I've done Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens. And I'll pull them up. But hopefully don't get copywritten. But let's see. Let's see what you guys think about this. No, it's backwards. It says, "How the West was won. Happy 4th of July." I guess I have to fix that.
We've just arrived in the colonies because there was some bitching over a tiny 3% tax. Not that big a deal, but whatever, this shit'll be easy. What the actual fuck? They're lined up 10 feet in front of me wearing bright blue uniforms. I can't see them. These guys are such assholes. What kind of a dickhead doesn't line up in a straight line and patiently take turns shooting one another? Sir, these colonials are worse than gonorrhea. They hide behind trees and pick us off while we pass through single file wearing bright red. And you would know, Corporal, even though we're the superpower of the world, we still don't know how to counter this ingenious tactic of hiding behind trees. God damn, we've been here 8 years and are just getting our shit pushed in. Kidding, they really do hate us. Okay, this is our last stand. We may have a chance if we just... Nope. Shit. Never mind, those ass-smelling French are here. I'm here in place of Cornwallis, because apparently he's really sick today, to deliver terms of surrender to that giant stud right there.
Right. That's better than the one that I saw. That is great.
That was AI?
Somebody credit for it. I don't know who that was.
You say it's AI, or these are actors?
It's AI.
It's all AI, yeah.
All AI.
The one I saw was George Washington.
They're gonna put a lot of people out of work.
It's at HistoryDad_AI on TikTok.
Yeah. So I'll leave you with that. We got the holiday coming up. Tomorrow's
Celebrate summer festivities and savings.
Tomorrow's Friday, so I don't know when I'll be able to. Well, of course, because it's a holiday. Don't know if I'll be able to make it. Maybe I'll do something short. But hope you guys enjoy this one. Take care. Got kids? Go tell them you love them. Give your girls a big hug. Give your boys a big hug. Let them know you're there for them. It's always nice to reassure that. Sometimes shit, I know I forgot and let it go by. And dang, my daughter one time really actually thought I wouldn't be there for her. I was like, "What do you mean?" Thought I said it enough to you. You can never say it enough. So, say it enough. Say it more often. But that's actually pretty good, man. So, real quick, if you guys don't know, obviously that's because 4th of July is coming up, right? So, Revolutionary War. Those are the Brits, the redcoats, as they call them. And if you really want to see what they're saying, even though it's a different battle, but there's a movie called Last of the Mohicans. It made me think of the last scene. England and Europe had a way of fighting, a gentleman way of fighting. Well, when you got here, you had all the native tribes, and they had a different way about them. Kind of the first form of guerrilla warfare, if you will. They didn't fight gentlemanly. They fought guerrilla-ishly. And if you ever watch Last of the Mohicans, that's kind of what happens. They're like standing still in lines, and one goes down, and then they shoot, and then another one goes down, and then they're redoing their weapons while the other one's up, and you just have these Indians just come out of nowhere and just start killing all these redcoats and stuff. So that's why it's kind of, I don't know. Well, I mean, is it too soon? Too soon? 1776, 1768 time frame. But anyways, and we won. So, but here, I'll watch it one more time. Sorry for, I didn't know it did that, so I won't put words in there. But it's on the video.
We've just arrived in the colonies because there was some bitching over a tiny 3% tax. Not that big a deal, but...
Hold on, in the tax, if you guys don't know, and that's why you'll hear me say that the Revolutionary War was started over breakfast beverages, because it was the tax on tea. Hence, if you've ever heard of the Boston Tea Party, that's why it's called the Boston Tea Party, because they attacked the ships coming in. People were pissed that they're getting taxed, getting tariffs, or taxed, or tariffs. I think it was taxes, and on their tea, which they had for breakfast. So they dumped them all into the over into the Boston Harbor. So that's why it's called the Boston Tea Party. Sorry, I just know a lot of people from different places, whatever, and I'm sure you guys all know probably more than I do, but that's the gist of it. But this is why this guy comes up and thinks they have no issues, they're going to be good, and that's kind of probably what kind of did happen, because they're England and they're the superpower. That's why another huge thing for America, no one gives America credit for. They give America credit for stealing land. I don't know how you steal land when you conquer it. There's a difference between stealing and there's a difference of conquering it. Sorry. I'm Native American, Apache. Sorry, we got conquered. At least we fought. At least we fought as long as we could. And Geronimo, we fought pretty freaking long. So at least we fought. At least we got pride. And of course the Mexicans, so they fought pretty hard too. Remember the Alamo. But they were conquered, I never, I don't know how all of a sudden, because we're in America, we're on stolen land. You ever heard of a little place called Rome? You ever heard of Alex the Great, his dad, Philip? You ever heard of the Persians? You ever heard of the Persian army coming down, taking all that land? Have you ever seen 300? Well, that's a Persian army coming down. After that, Philip of Greece and all that kind of moved him back a little bit, and then his little boy named Alexander the Great then ended up taking over and going into Asia. Look it up, good stuff. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't stolen land there, it was conquered land that was fighting. When the natives were here fighting against each other, trust me, it wasn't like you were watching the cartoon Pocahontas or whatever. It was real life. So tribes fought amongst tribes for food, for land, for women, for everything. So that's why he's talking about that. But I can imagine they just thought they were going to come in here with their army and have a gentleman fight, and then all of a sudden the colonials, who have been fighting alongside in some cases, but then, and once again, it was a big thing. The colonials, a lot of citizens were not in fights with the Native Americans. A lot of time it was all the army as America was expanding. However, there was times where they did have, people come, whether natives came in and whatever, but they weren't military people. They were militia. The colonizers were. So they had to adapt to fighting as, say, the natives. Or they probably looked over and said, "Holy shit! Hey, Ted! I think maybe we should hide behind trees now, huh?" All right. Yeah, I mean, because then you can, move a little bit. Let's try that from now on. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. So pretty funny. But like I said, go watch Last of the Mohicans if you get into at the very end. It's exactly what I thought of when I saw this. But here you go. Happy 4th of July.
We've just arrived in the colonies because there was some bitching over a tiny 3% tax. Not that big a deal, but whatever, this shit'll be easy.
What the actual fuck? Yes, they're lined up 10 feet in front of me wearing bright blue uniforms. I can't see them. These guys are such assholes. What kind of a dickhead doesn't line up in a straight line and patiently take turns shooting one another?
Sir, these colonials are worse than gonorrhea. They hide behind trees and pick us off while we pass through single file wearing bright red. And you would know, Corporal, even though we're the superpower of the world, we still don't know how to counter this ingenious tactic of hiding behind trees.
God damn, we've been here 8 years and are just getting our shit pushed in.
Okay, this is our last stand. We may have a chance if we just... Nope. Shit. Never mind, those ass-smelling French are here. I'm here in place of Cornwallis, because apparently he's really sick today, to deliver terms of surrender to that giant stud right there.
Very funny. But then also, Patriots good movie too if you want to see Revolutionary War, especially for 4th of July. Oh, speaking of that, in the comments, hey, throw out some of your most favorite 4th of July movies, and it doesn't have to be dealing with the 4th. It doesn't have to be dealing with Revolution. To me, any 4th of July could be like any type of military movie. Can't be just like a baseball movie or something. Now, if it's a baseball movie, it's got to be dealing with the 4th or something. But any military movie, anything like that would go well. Veterans, anything like that. Yeah. So, to add to history, if anybody's confused out there, the Battle of 1812. So obviously 1776 when it was found that down the road, England thought that they'd try it again and say, hey, we're going to come get them this time. And look up Fort McHenry, see how that works out. And that's when the Star Spangled Banner was written. It was written right across the street, or I'm sorry, across the little opening there in the water where Francis Scott was a prisoner on the other side of the strip of water where Fort McHenry was survived throughout the night, and that's why the flag was still there, because they kept shooting it down. People were putting it up. People were just dying trying to keep the flag up. Great story. I'm going off. Just happened to go down to Maryland one time for I don't know, somebody needed my bone marrow one time, so I went out there to try to help them out. But saw some sightseeing, did some sightseeing when I was down there. So, but anyway, hey, thanks guys. Like, subscribe, throw some comments on there. Some of your favorite 4th of July movies. Be safe. Don't get caught doing anything you're not supposed to. And if you're going to be doing something, you're going to be keep it hush hush. All right, I'm out. See you around.